under LGA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and/or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LGA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last. There's a full moon shining, lighting up the highway like a beacon to you. If I can make it on time, have some moonlit stay line, roll a diesel right on through. Well, my lips are heavy.
You're listening to Glenn Leary on UFO Talk Radio.
From the high desert in Great America Southwest, broadcasting live deep in the desert of Nevada, The Glenn Leary Show.
He is back. Now, on UFO Talk Radio, Glenn Leary.
I do want to welcome you all back here on K-Ghost Radio, UFO Talk Radio. I'm telling you, I'm excited for the show tonight. Open lines, of course. Got to keep it clean. Please do. May I say morning, good afternoon, and evening to you, whatever time zone you might be in. And to all my fans and friends, I welcome you to the show. From the LGA Broadcasting Network, yes, we're having fun, I'll tell you for sure. To all my affiliates out there and small broadcasters, micro broadcasters, night drivers, you know who I'm talking about. You guys truckers are doing a great job out there. To KPFF, FM Prump, what a beautiful station you have up there. Also KBHR, 57 AM, Sitka, Alaska. K6RCL, ham operators. I say hello to all you guys, 73s to you. And those folks are listening all over the world, I'll tell you. We're going to have open lines here a little bit for the reason that we're talking about everything from flat earth to you name it. We're going to talk about, of course, the Webb telescope and what it's doing and all the unbelievable pictures from NASA. And I want to give a good shout out to, well, let me tell you what's coming up here in Good Springs, Nevada. Rising King, I believe it is, Chicken Fingers, the Breast Fest for 2022 appeared in Good Springs, Nevada at the Pioneer Saloon. And you can see my t-shirt, my hat. As of course, I go there and meet my friends all the time. And from noon to 10, all over the world, folks are coming in and they want to see the Pioneer Saloon. I go there all the time. I have a great time. That's where you hang out with some of my buddies and what have you. But it's haunted, yes. If you want to see ghosts, or be there when the ghosts are there, or whatever spirit you may be with. One in the glass, maybe one that you can see. I usually have one in the glass, but that's okay. But anyway, this Breast Fest thing is happening, and the performance will be out there. Early Dawn, which is a LA group. Also, I believe we have High Blue Cactus, Kevin McGowan, and Dance with Aloha, and Vice, I believe, and some other bands might be showing up. But it's to raise money for breast cancer, and it's a great thing, I'll tell you for sure. I'm going to have the owner on very soon that owns the Pioneer Saloon, and we're going to talk about bands and what's going on in that business and how things are happening down there, and some of the guests he's going to be having this year, some cool bands. Shout out to the Creekside Diner at Kennett Square out there in Pennsylvania. I'll tell you, the lady that owns that place fed me well, I'll tell you for sure. Karen, thank you so very much. She loves responders. She loves the police, fire, EMS, and everybody that comes in there, especially a lot of firemen, cops too, for sure. Station 23, guys, good to see you. Chief Hall, yelling out to you. Love you dearly, guys. Avondale, you're doing a great job. Great fire crew out there. So many people I know I want to say hello to. We don't have a lot of time tonight, but I'll do the best I can. Yes. W60 Baker, April 13th, Friday the 13th, 2018, passed away on us. You know who that is, of course. Unlike I say to all my ham operas, I say hello to an American Legion out there at Rising Sun, Maryland, post 194. All you guys, thank you for your service. And that's a great little lodge, I tell you. Great folks out there. Here we're back. Okay. The space NASA has done a great job with that Webb telescope. I mean, we're seeing some stuff out there we've never seen before, from new galaxy stars, new stars. I'm telling you, they're pretty. Have you seen them on the net? They're on YouTube also. NASA has a great setup for that. 25,000 light years away. Wow. And more. That's just reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching, I'll tell you for sure. Huh. Well, what's next? Now, with all those galaxies out there and universes, come on. There's got to be life out there. I'm sure you'll agree with me. You must. I have some flat Earth folks calling in tonight. We're going to talk about that. Is the Earth flat? I don't think it is, but I mean, they do. And they're going to try to prove that tonight, maybe so, if they call in, if they can do that. I hope they will not let me down. We had quite a discussion a couple of nights ago, and they said they would call the show. I said, well, you're more than welcome to. I'll get the eyes fixed, by the way. I can see you clearly now. Just like the book I wrote, I can see clearly now. Cataracts have been removed. And it's like seeing an HD TV. And the distance is great. Still got to wear the glasses for reading up close, but that's okay. At least I can see. It was so bad. I mean, it's like having a dirty windshield, driving. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So how's your week been? What have you guys been up to? I haven't seen you or heard from you for 2 weeks. I tuned you to archives, and I hope you took advantage of that because they're everywhere. And, we're on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeart, Archer, Twitter, Spotify, Spreaker, Reverb Nation, StreamYard, of course, Facebook, and we have YouTube. On all the stations I have, the Glenn Larry Show, UFO Talk Radio, Air 51 Talk Radio, Art Bill Tribute Talk Radio, OlympiaRadio.com, K-Ghost, of course, KGhostsRadio.com. And the AM/FM station, we have that also. We have some affiliates out there in Oregon and Washington. They're doing some real good, some low-powered class stations. And these are stations that can have different type of broadcasting. They're not turned down or held down because of certain rules. Yeah, they can do fillers for us anytime they want, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, we're gonna have open lines, and that'll happen in about 5 minutes. For you folks just turning in. Oh, by the way, I'm looking at the radio side. I do see a lot of Canada. You're back. Thank you, Canada. Apologize. I hope that you guys went to the archives. Yeah, I see Wayne, Indiana. Okay, thank you kindly. I'm back. Yes. And it's hot here. I wonder how the temperature is over there. Probably very muggy. It's very hot here. The desert gets very hot. And it's heat and all the monitors and in the station here, it gets a little warm. I do have air going in, but it's not enough. So you may see me sweat tonight. But that's all right, I guess. Humidity, man, I guess that's going to kill you. You get out there, it's hot anyway. And you get 60, 70, 80%. Just like you're taking a bath or you're walking in and out of a shower. It's crazy. Boy. Yes. Okay, I see Olympia, Washington. Tacoma. Great. Thank you so very much. Good. So, I hope that you did have a good week. I had an interesting week. When I actually saw some radio stations, some old powered stations, and worked on the antennas and try to do it in the morning type of thing or late at night where it's cooler. They had the Fallout, Las Vegas Fallout at the Pioneer the other day. It's the game, that's out. Very, very big game. And that was quite an experience for that place. Thousands, hundreds of people. And just packed the place. And that's quite the game. Las Vegas Fallout, that's what it's called. I don't play it. I'm too busy doing radio and fixing transistor radios and fixing equipment. I say hello to Crystal out there, my daughter, and my ex-wife, so them also. All my family and your family too. So tonight, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about UFOs? Do you want to talk flat Earth, NASA, ghosts? Hope you enjoyed the last couple of shows we had. And if you do go to archives, enjoy them, please. That's what they're there for. It doesn't cost you anything. I don't charge like a lot of stations as well. It's going to cost you $2.95, $8.95, for the week or whatever. No, ours is free. And just check all that out. So I'm going to put out some numbers, and we'll see what we get. All righty? Stand by.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
And that's the numbers, and here is the prompt line.
The rump lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275.
And in case you didn't get that, here's something else for you.
To call UFO Talk Radio, the Glenn Larry Show, deep in the dark desert of Nevada, call 702-874-1114. North of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. West of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And south of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And east of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. First-time callers, call 702-874-1114. And if you just want to talk to the Glenn Larry Show, call 702-874-1114.
The lines are open, everybody, and I'm waiting for your calls. Sometimes we get 3 or 4 or 5, maybe 1. But I want interesting calls. If you're a time traveler, let's talk to you also and tell us what's coming up. And be clear about it, because I really want to hear about it. I really do. Let's tune that radio.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers found sometime last week has been inspected in Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
He is back. Now, on UFO Talk Radio, Glenn Larry.
And here I am again. Thank you very much, Ross. Yeah, I've been listening to some other stations out there, some of the podcasts and stuff. Quite interesting things going on. A lot of politics going on. Of course, we don't do politics. We're radio theater, and we're talk radio. But we don't do a lot of politics at all. Let's go somewhere else with that. You know what I'm saying? We do have a caller. See who we have. You're on the line. This is Glenn Larry Show. Go ahead. Hello. You're live. You're live on the air. I don't know if you can hear us, sir. You're live. And turn your radio down, please. If you turn your radio down. All right. We'll have to drop this call. Yeah, he's not responding. I don't know why he's not responding. We're on and we're talking. So, hello. Huh, interesting. Yeah, all of our lines are there. We're all good. Everything's plugged in. Well, okay. We'll wait for another call. You can call us on 1113 if you like, also, or 1114. I had that from another guy one time. It was on the cell phone, and they were, for some reason. Hello, you're live on the air, sir. Go ahead. You are live on the air. Caller, go ahead. Caller, yeah, you're live on the air. Go ahead, sir.
It won't go through.
You can't hear me at all? Yeah. Would you call me on 1113, sir, please? 1113. It's interesting because all are working today, so I'll tell you, this phone's gonna be a pain. It really can be. Yeah, I could hear him. He couldn't hear me. Well, we're up and going. Our send lines are up, way up, and he should be able to hear us all together. Yes, he should hear. It's very weird. Yeah, we're going to see what's going on here. Caller, are you there? Can you hear?
It rings, but it don't get through.
Okay. I want to have him try 1113. Okay, here we go. Everything's plugged in right. Phones are a pain. They really are. Two there. Two there. And we're plugged in. Well, okay. We'll be back after this advertisement. Stay tuned. I'll tell you for sure.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit NCP.
We're going to try this again. See if we can get this guy on the line. Okay, what I'm going to do is drop the 1114 number. I'm going to use 1113. I do not know why it's not working. So call 702-874-1113, and we'll talk to you.
From deep in the desert of Nevada, broadcasting to the world, it's the Glenn Larry Show.
Okay, here we are. 1114 is not working. It was working about 5-10 minutes ago. I have no idea why it's not working. I have no idea. Yeah, let's see. 1113. How annoying. Well, we may have to just drop the lines today. I don't care. We might have to go to Skype to the prompt line, which is also right. All right. And I'll give that number out here too.
The rump lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275.
Wow, crazy stuff. Anyway, so the flat earth thing, I had a long talk with a gentleman the other night, and of course he says, how could this be? Even down to the space program also. And I laughed a little bit, but some of the stuff he said kind of made some sense. And I said to myself, my gosh, could it be true? Are we all been bluffed? And he talked about the flag on the moon, how it was up there and it actually would move. Well, there's actually a metal, I guess a string, a line that would hold that up so it would stay straight, so it wouldn't move as they went by to move it. It has no gravity, so how would that happen? So I was told I looked at did some research on that, so they said that's what happened on that deal. So if you're going to call us, call it 702-874-1113, please. That is the number to call. I apologize. 1114 is not working for some reason. Sometimes folks' cells, and I can see right here as I'm talking to you right now, 1114 should be up and going. But I do not know why we're not getting any type of a response on the other end. So I've reset it too. Just reset it again. Reset it again here. Let's see what's going on. No, I'm not getting anything on this at all. There we go. Nothing at all. Yep. I am not getting anything at all. Please call 1113, please. 702-1113. That's the way it's going right now. And,
He said the 1114 is not working.
yeah, 1113. So let's try that one. She heard it on the station, on the radio there. God bless you. Oh. Yeah. Well, it really upsets me about that. Interesting. It's got to be the heat, maybe. Maybe it's the heat on the hybrids. 702-874-1113 is the number. 702-874-1113. It says the number to call if you want to call in. And we'll see if that works. 702-874-1113. Yeah, pretty crazy. I was hoping that maybe Barbara would call in. I haven't heard from her for quite some time. She has the academy, up there in the heights of Las Vegas. And quite interestingly, we do support her little academy out there. They have our UFO group to get together and they watch the skies at night. And she always has some great stories to tell, I'll tell you for sure. I don't know if you met Barbara before, but she's one of our main folks that we have on, and we really do enjoy her, really do. She's a gas. Her husband's a gas too. So, I mean, how much fun. Let's talk about here. This is interesting. Rising Cane's Chicken Fingers presents Breastfest 2022, Saturday, July 16th, a free event, noon to 10 p.m. at the world's famous Pioneer Saloon in Good Springs, Nevada. Make sure you come out and join the fun time we're going to have that day. It's all for Breastfest. That's right, featuring performance bands like Early Dawn, High Blue Cactus, Kevin McGowan, Dance with Aloha, and Vice, and much more activities going on at that night. Come on down and join us. That's right, Saturday, July 16th at the Pioneer Saloon. It's Breastfest. Let's raise money for Breastfest. That's a good cause, I'll tell you for sure. It really is. The UFOs have been really popping up all over the United States. Pretty crazy. Brazil have had a lot of sightings. I watched the MUFON side of it, and they have great reporting. They do a great job. If you ever get a chance to donate some money to them, they're a great outfit. All right, caller, we have you live on the line. Go ahead. Who are you and where are you from, please?
This is Ken from here in Florida, Punta Gorda, Florida.
Hey, Ken, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing, man. I had a heck of a time getting you.
Yeah, it's the 1114 line. I think the box got a little hot and it stopped working.
Hey, it's hot here in Florida.
Is it?
It's going to 94 tomorrow.
And what's the humidity?
The humidity is around 72%.
Ooh, boy.
Oh, it's melting.
Yeah, but you have your pool, though, do you not?
Yeah, you better believe I was in that pool, too. Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question, Larry.
Go ahead, my friend.
You think maybe about 100 of us could get together and go up to Wrights-Patterson Air Force and see what they're hiding up there?
Boy, I'll tell you, we have to get in there. How to get in there is a big challenge, I'll tell you for sure. But I'd love to.
I don't want to go on the first floor and look at things. I want to go down underneath.
Yeah, I agree with you. Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
I think they're hiding a lot of stuff from us.
Well, that's where things seem to end up out there. From Area 51 or where any crash sites, and they have to end up there. So yeah, I would think that'd be kind of interesting to see what they got up there.
Well, when I get chance and I go through my pictures, I'm going to send you pictures of them moving that stuff on the Rockville Bridge in outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you pictures, and you figure out what's under them tarps. You can't get near them. There's too many cameras.
Right.
Now, I know what they were moving because I had people call me and tell me, hey, their military's moving a train.
Yeah.
And when you see them old cabooses still on the track, there's something funny about that. But no, I think there's enough evidence out there now, Larry, to prove what I saw in 1967 does exist.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just the cat's out of the bag, let's say.
Yep, it's out. So, I'll never forget that night. I'll never get that feeling out of my body. It was there. And
I want you to, if you would, please tell the audience once again a little about that story. Would you, buddy, Ken?
Well, it was 1967. It was in the summer. And I had a mobile gas station on routes 11 and 15 in Enola, Pennsylvania. And the police all gathered there at night because there wasn't that much traffic. And they got a call about a UFO coming down on Tower Road in Summerdale.
Right, Summer Road. Yeah.
So I went out there, and there was a cruiser car that had damage. His name was Bill Pelton. He was a police officer. It scared him that bad. He come down Tower Road and just really more or less tore the front wheels out from underneath the cruiser car. Then a guy by the name of Jack Fry, he had a salvage yard. He towed that vehicle.
Wow. And
I told Jack before, I said, don't you better hadn't tell anybody what happened out here, what you seen, or what you know. I said, because you're going to get visitors. Well, he got visitors. And when I told you about it the first time, I thought everybody was dead, That was 1967.
Right.
And well, I was at the diner in Marysville.
Yeah.
And by God, I run into Jack's ex-wife. I think she told me she was 89 years old. I saw this lady walking up the ramp, and I looked at her, and I thought, man, I know that lady. So I asked her, and she knew of the incident. She remembers when it happened. But I thought, man, everybody was gone, but Mrs. Fry is still living today.
They'd love to have you forget about the government, trust me.
Yeah, it was it was something you'll never forget if you ever see one that close. If you ever get that close, it'll do something to you. You ain't never gonna forget it.
How many little guys do you think were inside that craft, and how big was that craft?
I don't know because I didn't see anybody. But whoever they were, they had to be awful small.
Yeah.
Because I would say there wasn't 3 to 4 foot on the inside of that thing. It didn't have a big door on it. The door was open, but there was nothing. You couldn't see nothing. Everything was black in there.
Huh. Wow.
And I told you that thing come down and it had no lights.
Right.
It made no noise. If you didn't know something was happening to a police department or something, you wouldn't even know that happened out there. Huh. But then it hit the paper somehow, and it just started spreading, and Tower Road just become a place where every night there'd be 50, 60 cars sitting out there waiting for something to happen again. And it never happened. Never happened again. But I think I had sent you some pictures of some of the towers.
Yeah, yes, you did.
From one side of the river to the other side of the river. Right. Now, the other side, that's in Roberts Valley. Mm-hmm. And I know that mountain because I own most of that mountain at one time. Uh-huh. And the only thing that went up through there was power lines.
Right.
But at the top is a transmitting station. And you're not allowed to go up there. I went up and I took pictures. I sent them to you. I'm pretty well familiar over in that area, and I figured if the police come, they know who I am.
Right.
But no, it's. I don't know whether you ever uncovered anything about what happened that night, but
I tried to do some research. I'd got nowhere. Tell you the truth.
yeah, well,
there
is nothing to be found, and it was in the newspaper, but it's not in the newspaper no more.
No.
Because when I was up, I went to the archives.
The archives, yeah.
And I tried to dig it out. It's gone.
Nothing on microfiche either, huh?
It's gone.
Wow.
I even asked the people who worked in there. It's gone. And I told you about the one police officer. He told me that never happened.
Oh,
I said,
yeah.
Glenn.
They're told to tell you that.
Yeah, I said, Glenn, you going to tell me it didn't happen?
Yeah.
You were at my station. You were out there the night it happened. But now those people are all gone now. I know they're gone.
Right. Well, you're still with us. Thank God to tell the story.
Yeah, well, that's. I'll tell you about that off the air. I'm still here, but I wasn't for a short period of time. I'll tell you about that off the air.
Okay, we'll talk, buddy. I really appreciate it.
But I hope you get a lot of calls and somebody else out there on Radio Land can hear what I'm saying and call you and verify it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I tried to get another police officer that seen a similar thing. He chased it for about 10 miles, but he won't call you and talk to you. Yeah. I don't know why. He just he won't talk to you.
Well, guys like that,
Yeah.
Even if they're retired, they don't want to be on the radio, so that's okay. They don't have to use their own name. They use another name, but sometimes people put it all together. You know how that works.
Well, at least you got to meet Stan Gordon. You got to talk to him.
Yeah, I did. I had a real good talk with him.
Yeah, Stan's a good guy.
Yeah, we'll have him back on too. He's one of many that are very, very good researchers and they know what they're doing. And I'm getting a lot of MUFON guys, investigators. But there's been a lot of books out. But they go so far and it stops because there's nothing really, really new right now. Even the stuff that they gave us from the Pentagon and all that other stuff and the committee, it was the same, little bits of that. They don't give you much. And but at least they are saying that there are aliens and the crafts are not from this world. So that's what's important.
Yeah, well, let's see the real proof. What they want to hide it for you?
Yeah.
Who's going to be scared?
Yeah. There's so much fake news out there, and there is so much, I say, fake photographs and stuff I see of these UFOs. But there are those that are real, and some of them are pretty darn good. And so if we get more people like that to turn in their pictures and their video on their cameras, everybody has a phone these days, so they should be able to do that. Yeah,
that's the good thing, a cell phone, but I saw it in 1967. I'm still looking. This is 2000.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I see nothing.
Well, you might see some lights that are stringed together up there, those satellites.
Well, I'm going to go out here and look for the Book Moon tonight. It's supposed to be the brightest.
Oh, well, great.
Yeah, we get pretty good views of the moon here in Florida.
No, oh, yeah, yes, you do.
But,
you're right. Yeah. Do you see a lot of launches out there?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
there's a lot of different strange things down here in Florida. Now we got these great big snails, and they think they come from Japan. They're eating everything up. They're trying to eliminate the big snails.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't hear it? At the sunlight like that.
I have not heard about that. Tell us.
Yeah, they're about 5-pound snails. There's other strange things that's here too. They're trying to get rid of them, but catching them and getting rid of them. But no, Florida's a beautiful place to come to visit. But there's an awful lot of people moving here.
Yeah, I see that. My friend of mine bought some property down there too. Got a good deal on it though. But a lot of people moving out in certain areas that are just too high. But what's your gasoline there now?
Well, now what we got going on down here is smash and grab.
Oh, wow.
They're smashing store windows out and taking what they want in the middle of the night when they're closed. And I'll send you some pictures of that too. We went to the gas station there. I said, how are you going to go in there? There's no door. It's boarded shut.
Wow.
He said, well, the other night we had some visitors. They broke in.
Oh, boy. That's terrible.
There's a lot of that kind of stuff going on.
That's got to stop. Yeah, it really has to stop.
Well, I'm going to let you go, Larry, and I'm going to have to send you some pictures.
Oh, please do. It's always good to hear from you, my friend.
Hey, it's good to hear you, too, because I know you were off there for a while. I keep trying and trying. I said, he's sick.
Yeah. I had some operations and stuff like that, so it all worked out. Again, my friend, thank you so very much.
Well, thank you, Larry.
All right, bye-bye now.
Bye.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, Larry, it's Fast Eddie from Down the Rabbit Hole. How are you, my brother?
Well, how have you been, my friend? It's been such a long, long time.
I'm out here just listening and enjoying the show tonight.
Well, great.
And I caught a quick mention where you had said we're not getting a lot of new information. And I thought I might drop a little new information on you for something to maybe ponder, and maybe if somebody else has been looking into this part. But I'm sure everybody's familiar with the Tom DeLonge and the To the Stars Academy.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he had come out famously with these UAP videos that were later verified, and Louis Elizondo is all over the news with, backing up his academy and all these things that they're doing that have come to fruition. Well, recently I come across an interview with Tom DeLonge, and it's talking about an underground pyramid, which is in Alaska, which is about 45 miles outside of one of the mountains. I think Denali. I'm not sure if I'm sure of the location, but the point being, he says the Pentagon has known about it for decades, and recently it has activated itself, and they've been trying to figure out exactly what it's doing. And their best conclusion is this pyramid is trying to suppress consciousness.
Interesting. Huh. That's crazy.
Right.
What are they seeing? I mean, how's this affecting? I mean, sincerely, how's that working out?
Well, I put a link to the article on your YouTube channel for anybody that wants to read it on Reddit. But basically, it's a radio interview that he does, where they're just basically spitballing what the heck this thing's doing, because they have no idea. But he does say they've been aware of it for decades. The Pentagon has been in communication, whatever the heck that means, investigating this thing. And for the most part, he's stating publicly that it's come alive and it's activated itself, and that they can't, for the life of anybody at the Pentagon or any of the other alphabet soup, figure out what the heck it's doing. So his best guess is it's trying to suppress consciousness, which would, explain some of the timeline issues and some of the things people have been experiencing, known as the Mandela effect and all these other crazy tinfoil hat great rabbit holes that we could jump into. But this could be something to do with CERN, and it could all tie together. I don't know, but it's a really interesting thing, and I thought I'd ask if you'd heard anything about it.
Well, I have heard something about it, but not to the extent that you're talking about. Now, I've thought it might be a large craft that looks like a pyramid. There have been those out there that might be down there, and that might be exactly what that is.
Well, I mean, that would tie in beautifully with the movie from a few years ago, The Fifth Element, where in the beginning of the movie, they're in the pyramid. He's going, Aziz, light. And he's lighting up this pyramid, which basically turns out to be a ship. And what they're searching for is the fifth element, which is exactly, if you go to the CERN website, what they are searching for right now is the fifth element that makes up all of, that ties together all of these particles.
Oh my gosh.
So that's it might be a little bit of disclosure hidden in a lot of these Hollywood fables.
Yeah. My gosh. Well, I've always thought that writers have written things that there's a little bit of truth in everything sometimes in these shows, you know. But as like the F Files, you know, that's I've always thought they were very well done.
I've been watching a lot of Westworld lately, and I got to tell you, there's got to be a lot of disclosure in that as well.
Yeah,
it's just the imagination for these writers is just it's really something.
Well, I mean, the mind is a wonderful thing. I mean, creativity and things like this. But, I mean, you look at the universe, what we got out there, the galaxies. There's got to be other life. I mean, come on, we cannot be the only life. And now that of course, everything's out of the bag, kind of as you would say, but not much given out to us. Yeah, I think more and more will be out very, very soon. We're going to see more ourselves, and I think they're kind of backed against the wall in certain areas, to tell you the truth. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think that there's a lot of disclosure in everything we see. There's a great video out called Out of the Shadows from a couple of stunt guys that I actually know in person that did this video that's been removed from YouTube many times, but it basically states how, you know, the CIA has a location inside of Hollywood, and they pull a lot of strings and make a lot of decisions for a lot of the narratives that go out and a lot of these blockbusters. And it's a very small world of how all these things, you know, coincide, and a lot of it is disclosure, and you know, a lot of it is conditioning. And I think that we're going to see a lot of big events in the next, you know, 12 months here. That, you know, maybe we own a lot of this technology, maybe we've integrated with a lot of this technology, but maybe a lot of these crazy, wacky movies that we've been watching, everything from Rick and Morty to Westworld, has all been a form of disclosure. And a lot of that has been a way to water it down so when it happens, you know, we're not too upset. You look back at like Project Bluebeam back in the 70s. They literally were looking at ways to influence thousands of people through religion or whatever they could project into the sky. Well, now you fast forward and we have an active Skynet, courtesy of the Department of Defense's largest contractor, Elon Musk, who's placed all of these free wireless satellites in the sky. Well, guess what? You know, they're capable of a lot more than, you know, projects like Rods from the Gods from 78, I believe, where they just wanted to drop metal rods from space. Well, he's doing well beyond that. I mean, we've weaponized space since the 80s. And as of today, you know, he's got a Neuralink he's working on that would connect everybody through a satellite and just be a surveillance world beyond 1984's greatest follow-up book.
Right. I remember that. What type of phone are you talking on, by the way?
I am on my cell phone. I'm on Google Voice on my Samsung.
I've noticed that because I'm getting some crackling, and it's not on my end. You got some real high stuff going, which you got a good phone, but I'm just saying it's a little high volume on the speaker end of it as you're talking, so it gives a little crackle once in a while. And I don't know, these phones have been a pain in the butt. You know, hybrid.
A little crackle.
Yeah. But anyway, but we're getting your message. But yeah, now Musk's whole thing is $700 and something to get that thing set up. Then it's $140 a month, and you buy the box and all that stuff, whatever it is. But that's not free. Nothing's free anymore. I'll tell you for sure. But at least you'll have great internet and great speed. And I'm in a very rural area, and boy, I'll tell you, I get dumbed down. You wouldn't believe it. They just throttle me down a little bit once in a while, and we only get so much. So I've always been looking for better internet.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no problem with the technology from what I read. I think the real issue is the data that they collect and what they're able to do with that at the end of the day.
Right, exactly. Who's buying what? I'll tell you for sure. My friend,
everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale. Unbelievable. You know? Well, my friend, thank you so very much for calling.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate you. I'm out here listening and rooting for you. And thanks for taking my call.
Okay, my friend. Be well. Thanks again.
All right, bud.
Bye-bye. Great guy. We'll get this other number out.
Pahrump lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275.
And I do have the number open, 702-874-1113. 1113 open lines. I'm sorry about 1114. It's 1113 702-874-1113. That's the number you want to call. 702-874-1113. Yes. The Pahrump line's open also. Not many people call that line. Some people from Pahrump do so sometimes, which is great. Yeah, tell you for sure. Yeah, so much been put out in films and from Star Trek to you name it. A lot of stuff's coming pretty true. And I've noticed even back in the day, I had the flip phone that came from the communicator, Star Trek. I know a lot of you folks know that for sure. A lot of folks don't keep track of that stuff. I have a model on Facebook. There's a model, guys are making models of spaceships and all sorts of stuff. And boy, I'll tell you, it's pretty cool stuff that they're doing out there. I want to give you guys kudos out there. Doing a great job. Keep sending those to me. Love to watch them and see them, what you're doing. And I'm getting a lot of articles from folks, strange stuff around the world, which is pretty cool too. So you can go to UFO Talk Radio 51 at gmail.com and send them there, or just Facebook them to me. Message them to me, a messenger, and I'll get it from there also. But yeah, I've been getting some cool stuff and been reading some odd magazines and some news that you don't hear about the media. A lot of strange stuff happening around the world. Strange things are being found. Strange fish from like these snails in Florida. My gosh, being invaded by snails. Yeah. But a lot of weird stuff out there. I saw a bird the other day that looked like a bat, but it's a bird. And it's got like, well, I had the regular claw feet as a bird, bat wings, but had a beak, had a face and a beak. Very weird looking. And had a strange name too. I should remember that name for you. But yeah, crazy stuff. Bugs, crazy bugs getting out these days. So very beautiful beetle, and its wings have spanned open about that wide. Yeah, about an inch and a half, and made a lot of clattering noise. But it was, as it landed, it was very beautiful. I hate to be bitten by something like that, of course, but yeah, I'm not into snakes. A friend of mine collects snakes. I do not like snakes of any kind. We have the Mojave greens out here. They're very dangerous. They bite you and you're dead within 8, 9, 10 minutes. You're just done. Rattlesnakes down here, of course. And I know these out there in the South, they got moccasins and all sorts of snakes that are poisonous. But snakes, no, not me. So where are we at tonight? 702-874-1113 is the number. And if you have a UFO story or want to talk about anything, the lines are open. And I do apologize about the other line here, 1114. And we've had some problems with that. I'll have to send it back and see what's going on with that hybrid. We do have a new phone system coming in real soon, which would be much better. It's all about money. How it happens, I'm just running up myself, So we are the LJ Broadcasting Networks due to the different stations that I have on the internet. And we're very proud of UFO Talk Radio and, of course, K-Ghost Radio. Country Vault Radio, like you're in a vault, is all country. And .com. We had a nice interview with John Conley on that station. But I love the K-Ghost side and the UFO Talk Radio, Area 51 Talk Radio. That's kind of our thing also. If you get a chance to go to olympiaradio.com, it's a nice site, has a touch about Olympia beer, Olympia, Washington, and it's just for Olympia only, those folks up there. And of course, you can join in. Who didn't like Olympia beer? I sure did back in the day. They don't make it anymore. I have a lot of antique stuff from that brewery. That was a little town of Olympia. Most of the people who worked there either at the docks or were lumberjacks, or they worked at the Olympia Brewing Company or for the state of Washington. Yeah, nice area. I can't go home though. But it's not the same place that I remember growing up at. So you probably have the same problem with your town. Maybe your town hasn't changed. We'll see. See what caller we got here. Hello, caller. You're on the air, and welcome. What's your name, and what do you like to talk about?
Well, this is Zach from Henderson, and I'm calling about that you were talking about earlier, the radio telescope, the new one out there that's looking way back.
The web. Yeah, the web.
The web.
Yeah.
You know, if it can, I was thinking, if it can go back and see 13.5 billion years ago and look at a galaxy near the Big Bang, why don't we turn it towards some of these planets that we picked up electronic impulses from and see if we can actually see the planet and maybe determine whether or not there's life on one of those?
You know, why haven't they? Or have they? That's the question. Have they?
That's the question. Maybe they have and they don't want to show it.
That's what I'm thinking, my friend. I think we get just a little bit from everybody. And if it's a big thing where, of course, it's the president, the vice president saw all these beautiful pictures, well, okay, fine. You know, let's give us some data from these other stars or these systems. Who are these people? You know?
Yeah, well, you know, who actually determines, one, what they look at, and two, what they show us that they've looked at.
Right, exactly. I'd love to hear about that. Big time.
Well, you know, because there's several planet systems that we can actually tell that we can't see the planets, but we can pick up their radio impulses, and we've gotten blasts of radio waves that aren't natural. That's where there ought to be a focus at some point.
So you think that we're getting these blasts from other planets, or do you think it might be our star, the sun flares maybe are doing this, or what?
Well, they can determine a sun flare because maybe it's a sun flare from another system.
Maybe.
That could be it. But you know, when we get a radio wave blast out of our sun, then we know it. You know, we get them all the time. Really,
yeah,
it's called the Northern Lights.
I really enjoyed them for ham radio and for Skip, for sideband. It's a lot of fun. Really increases my radio waves, you know. But yeah, why could they not? Put the direction.
You know, if they can see a galaxy and determine the galaxy at 13.5 billion miles or light years.
Right.
Why can't we look at something at 20 million light years?
Right. I agree with
and
you.
get a good look.
Right. What do you think about the telescope itself? It took them two decades.
I think as we'll go along, we got to build bigger ones.
It took them 2 decades to do this one.
Well, you know, maybe the next one we could do in 1 decade.
Right.
If we start in another 5 or 10 years.
I'm open to see what's going on, to tell you the truth.
So I was interested in the pyramid, and you kind of break it up a little, Larry. You're fading in and out.
I'm right with you. I'm just not. I'm right here on the microphone. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the pyramid that's up in Alaska, I saw a very small piece that they couldn't tell what was going on around it when they were looking for Bigfoot, and they got into this one area and their electronics didn't work. I wonder if that had anything to do, you know, whether or not Bigfoot's a fallacy or a reality. It doesn't matter. The fact is that their equipment failed to work when they tried to work this one area. I wonder if that had anything to do with the pyramid that just didn't want them to find out what's going on there.
Well, we just talked about that. I think that sometimes when these Bigfoot appear, there's also a sign about a UFO around the area. And that's been known to happen quite a bit. Are they tied in together somehow? I don't know, but people have said that they have been. That it really is. It goes together, different dimension and all that stuff. So I've heard that theory before. This big pyramid he's talking about, I really think that might be a big ship, a huge ship. And there it sits.
Well, it's interesting that it's in Alaska, up near the North Pole. Isn't there something similar down in Antarctica?
Yes, there is. There's a underground cavern that is just huge. You could put many ships in there, and so yeah, and yet they cap that information off too. You get so far, and that's all you get to talk about.
Well, the caverns, because Antarctica is divided up into several different international territories.
Yeah.
The caverns are in whose territory?
To tell you the truth, I have that article. I don't have it handy to talk about it. But those folks out there that tonight that may be listening may have that information to call in, let us know.
Well,
Antarctica, I don't know what the location whereabout is it at, but I had a person on our station that on our show that talked about it several years back, and I'll have to dig in the archives again, maybe get a hold of that person and talk about it. But yeah, it's supposed to be a huge underground base, more or less, that is controlled, climate controlled, and the whole bit. Has lighting and everything else. It's unbelievable. And it's supposed to be
I find
real
it
deal.
interesting that those both are at the poles where it's reasonably difficult to get to.
Well, I'm talking about maybe underground. I mean, ships like UFOs. That's the ships I'm talking about.
Correct. Yeah.
But I mean, look, they go through mountains. They go into the ocean. They do all sorts of things.
Well, your earlier caller was talking about conditioning.
Yes.
Now that's really interesting because the X-Files, that's where the spaceship was.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we've already been conditioned that eventually they'll let us know it's there.
No, maybe so. Gosh, I just can't wait till things really open up, and I hope I'm still around when it does.
And I got a feeling things are going to bust pretty soon. Anyway, Larry, that's what I kind of had a curiosity on.
Thank you so much for calling. Sorry about the line went down. We're going to fix that. What's going on tomorrow? I'm engineering here.
Oh, you know the expression of what happens.
Do I?
All right, Larry.
Be well, my
thanks
friend.
a lot for taking my call.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Bye. Yeah, unbelievable. Well, you never know. I mean, their technology is so much advanced than ours is, and that we do not have. They're way advanced. So what can they do? How can they do it? They can do anything. They can pull you right from your house right now, right through the roof. Yeah, they could somehow open your roof, all the atoms and whatever, and poof, you're in the UFO. I mean, you've seen it, you've heard it. Yeah. I do want some new stuff, though. I like to hear some new stories. Abductees, yes. Close Encounters 1, 2, and 3. I want to hear about it all. It is, well, more and more people are talking about being taken, pulled from their homes, their cars, boats in the ocean. Yeah. Driving down the road, all of a sudden, lost time. And a gentleman in my studio the other day had lost time. Yeah. 2 hours worth. And he woke up standing against a wall, looked down at his legs, and he went to touch his legs, and his hands went right through his legs. Imagine that. Maybe he's coming out of something that they had him in while they were looking at him or whatever, but he was pulled from his home. And his cat was acted very strange in this certain area, as if he either pulled or went through some type of porthole. I don't know, but we talked about it, and I'll tell you, it pretty well shook him up. And he has a heart problem, so he's worried about that. But it could happen to anybody. It could be your brother, sister, cousin, neighbor, teacher, anybody. Sometimes they talk about it, sometimes they don't. But it is very bothersome when it does happen. And it happens to you, because you have a story. You need to tell that story to someone that'll listen. And we listen to you on K-Ghost and UFO Talk Radio. Don't have to give your own name, but we'd love to hear your story. We'll be on next Tuesday night, and we'll have a surprise guest for you. I think you'll enjoy that show. Again, thank you so very much for listening. I am Glenn Leary. It is a wonderful day, wonderful evening, wonderful afternoon. It's great to be alive. Do me a favor, play well together. Think about, well, what can you do? What can you do for somebody else? Be well. God bless. I am Glenn Leary.
The rump lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275.
And I'll leave that line open, and we will try to do other things with everybody else, of course. Again, thanks again.